Ebitemi Amgbare joins us. He's one of the governorship aspirants in the Bayelsa APC primaries. Good morning and thanks for joining us.
Good morning. Good morning.
The process, they say, according to Mr. Oruba, he said, well, it's a concluded process, so there shouldn't be any need for people like yourself and others calling for a fresh process.
That's not true. That's not true. So let me just start by way of introduction. I hold the enviable record as the one who is the reason for this election in Bayelsa State. Because in 2007, when I contested as governorship candidate of the Action Congress, I annulled that election, and that changed the political calendar. That's why we are having our own election different from the other states, or most of the other states. And so I'm doing this to let you know that I am an authority of a sort in election matters. The election is about a process. With respect to primaries, it starts with the purchase of the nomination form. From that moment up to the screening and to the proper election. That's the day of the delegates coming to vote. In Bayelsa State, we had a series of meetings with the leadership of the national leadership. All the aspirants met with the leadership headed by Oyegun, and the rules were spelled out. Oshomole did not come to, the current governor did not come to Bayelsa with his own rules. He came with the rules of the party. And we agreed on how we wanted this election to go, or how we wanted the process to run. When he came to Bayelsa, he also had 2 meetings with us. The first one was with the aspirants, then the second was expanded meeting with other stakeholders. We also agreed that it must be PVC, international passports, that's means of identification now, international passports, and what else? National ID card. 8 o'clock, he told us 8 o'clock accreditation will start. I was there before 8 o'clock. His committee came about to 9. He was not there. And
were you worried about that when you didn't say the governor?
No, because the secretary was in charge. Okay? And if due process is followed, whether Adams is there or is not there is not an issue. So
sorry, secretary of the committee.
Yes.
That's
one Senator
Salman.
Yes.
Isaac Salman.
Salman was there. Okay? And so the process started. But very early, we saw that there was going to be a problem.
Why?
Why? Because a lot of people who had no reason to be within the arena had found their ways into the arena. And how did that happen? The State Excos, of course, from the onset, we knew they were playing the script of an aspirant. Now, they set up a parallel accreditation committee and gave all manner of tags to people. Eddie Oruba, who just left here, also came with one of those tags as observer or something. For us, we thought it was just going to be a business of delegates and agents and the officials. Even if anybody was to come as an observer, you must come through the Adams committee.
So you already suspected, or you do not trust members of the State Excos?
There was no reason to trust them because they descended to the arena.
I mean, before that day?
Yes.
Before that day?
Build up to the election.
Yes.
They descended. They became active participants. They were campaign managers of a particular aspirant. So it was clear that they were going to be partisan. Excuse me. Very clear. Okay? So when we saw them, I didn't bother because as long as they were not going to be involved in the key processes or the key segments, I was not bothered. But when
did you raise this concern at any point in time?
I'll tell you. Just let me flow. So when accreditation started, my agent and myself, I just as I said, I'm very passionate about this process because it's an opportunity for my party and myself now to win Bayelsa State. What we lost in 2007, we can get now. So I was there policing all the segments of the process, one by one. At the point of accreditation, I noticed that a lot of people who had no business around the accreditation table are taking over the accreditation table. And I went to the AIG of police, and I said to him that it was not wrong, it was wrong, it was not right, that he should move the crowd like 20 meters away from the table, so that at every point in time, it will be one man going through accreditation. Then the people fronting for silver started putting pressure on us. All aspirants should leave the the accreditation table. And I said, no, this exercise is all about me. If I'm not satisfied, I'll complain. It's my 5.5 million naira, for God's sake, and my aspiration to govern my people. So we kept pushing. They were also pushing. And at a point, it was clear, because at that point, all manner of people were now going in. People who were not supposed to go in now found their ways in. I took on some of the members of the committee, especially the one woman, I've forgotten her name, she was wearing the trouser suit, because she was now coming seriously under the pressure of Silver's agents. And at that point, it was clear that the accreditation process had collapsed.
How did you know that these people were Silver's agents?
We know ourselves in Bayelsa State. They were not, as a matter of fact, they were not supposed to come near the accreditation table. They came in as observers. Even if you're an observer, you stay far away. In the first place, we question the source of their accreditation. When Adams came, when the governor...
So if you question all of these things and these people were not identifiable with one person through any mark, any visible marks, how did you just reach the conclusion that these people belonged to former Governor Silver?
We are all Bayelsans. We know ourselves. Okay? It's not difficult to know who is supporting Ebitemi Amgbare. It's not difficult to know who is supporting Timothy Silver. So it was clear that these people, they were even saying that, look, monkey will not work for bamboo to come and chop. You know, and I tell them, anyway, this is an aside. Let's address the issue of the day. They put so much pressure on the officials from Abuja, and that was just to allow a lot of people who shouldn't have come in to
so
gain
the identification
entrance.
process wasn't being
followed. At a time, they were coming with party cards, and we agreed that it's not party card, it is PVC, because the party card, nothing to prove that these party cards cannot be faked.
And the PVC, now we hear that they were cloned PVCs.
We also saw that.
Some people said that,
yes, we also saw that. We agreed.
Well.
We agreed with the Adams committee that we are going to use card reader to identify.
Where were you going to get it from?
From INEC. We're talking about democracy here. If the party had applied, I'm sure INEC would have released a card reader for that purpose.
So,
yeah.
PVC, driver's license, international passport,
yes.
And
just that. Those three ID cards. Those three.
And those three were not followed.
They were not.
You said there was pressure to
deliberately to confuse the officials from Abuja.
But the fact that the governor wasn't there wasn't a problem.
Was not a problem.
So why did the accreditation stop?
At the point where I felt that, yes, if Adams, because we know the character of Adams Oshomole, if he was there, I'm sure from the onset, he would have been able to put things in perspective. Okay? If he didn't achieve that, he would not have started the process. So that's what I know about the character of Adams Oshomole. But the leader at that point in time was the secretary.
Okay, Mr. Rubel left here. He talked about the fact that it was orderly. The governor came in at about 12, the current governor about 12, had a meeting with all of you for about 2 hours.
Before that time, the system had collapsed, because we addressed, myself, Timi Alaibe, and one of the aspirant, Priya Ganaba, we addressed the press about, in fact, we were addressing the press when Adams drove in. At that point, it had collapsed beyond redemption, because a lot of people who had no business with this process had found their ways into the arena. And that kind of accreditation is the soul of an election.